Here's what it looks like in the storage unit. You can see a bed right there, all set up with bedding, and a sketchy looking loft that's built up with all the items on top. You can see a TV that's set up right there underneath this loft structure. There's candles on this table, which is a potential fire hazard. Coats are hung up over the door.
I've seen a lot of things in storage units in my days, but here we have someone that laid flooring, put up a wall back into here, put up 3 more walls and a ceiling. This is where the bed used to be, it looks like. And they hung their TV right there. Put in their own outlets. It's crazy.
Cost of living has gotten absolutely out of control. Groceries are up. I've noticed that some things are double what they used to be, even triple. Forget about rent. Rent is through the roof, okay? And with companies not hiring, layoffs, things are getting pretty bad. A lot of people can't afford to get like a decent place to live. Some people have decided to live in their car. They're even taking over storage units. Something's gotta be seriously broken. If you have no family left, that is difficult. At least some folks have family to go to, even if it's to rent a room for a little while until you get back up. But some Americans don't actually even have that. They have no one.
Okay, we are in an 8x10 storage unit. I found a special where I could pay $55 a month. He ended up giving me a 4-month deal on that. And then it'll move to about $110 a month. This is what I've built out of it. My dresser is back here. You can see, like, I can totally get in it, get all my clothes, everything. This is my closet. I actually have a full-length mirror, and I have enough space in here to get dressed. My shoes are in there, more storage in there. I've been able to set this up a little bit like a living room. I've more storage stuff, some water, blanket. I've got a chair that I can sit in here and put my feet up. I built this up here for extra hanging, clothes, whatever. This is my kitchen. I can grab stuff, come and go, my cups, cooking, everything. Down here in my buffet is my pantry. This is terrible and hard in such a small space. My pantry down here is actually my bookshelves now, so I can pull these out, grab the books that I want and go, put them back. I created another little hallway going this way. I'm waiting on the rest of my pretty storage bins, but this is all my crafting stuff. If you know me, I craft and I sell stuff for extra money. And then we come back out here. Here's our little hallway still. Those 4 bins are literally just storage for someday if I have a house, I guess. I don't know. This is like my DVDs, board games, swimwear. As soon as you walk in, all my clothes are hanging right here. Back behind there is even more storage for like all my camping stuff. If you know me, you also know that I'm an extreme couponer. So here's all my product. Here's all my bathroom supplies. And, yeah, I did all of that. Oh, extras, whatever. In a storage unit that I can just roll up in my car and do what I need to do and come and go as I please for $100 a month. So I don't have to pay $500 a month. I've just freed up $400 a month that I can put towards past debt. So maybe someday I'll have better credit and can qualify to buy a camper, so I'll have a home.
Now, some of the people that posted, this guy posted that he lived in a storage unit with his girlfriend and he's homeless. Now, that story went viral, so obviously they kicked him out because, you know, that's not allowed.
I'm going to go forward with doing our lease with you guys because you broke like a couple rules in our rental agreement. So you have like 48 hours to read all this stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, getting a storage unit and only giving a motherfucker $125 a month and you live there? Open it up.
So if y'all been paying attention, y'all know I live in storage. I lost my job. Yeah, you see, I had a whole bunch of money. I don't got no money. I'm staying in the storage now on my ass. But I said I was gonna make the best of it. So yeah, you know, storages be having these reuse centers. So I found this bike one day at the reuse center, and I was like, I'm gonna put this on Facebook Market, and I put it on Facebook Market for $55, y'all. And it took me a little bit to sell it, probably like a week or so. You know what I'm saying? But somebody finally called and said they wanted it. Text me on Facebook, said they wanted it. And I was like, all right, bet. Boom. They pulled up, you know. I went up to my storage and brought it back down. And I let them test ride it for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna see me taking it to them so they can test ride it. He hopped on that mug, did a little spin, you know, and then he sent me my money.
So this is what homeless people do. They try to live in here, but we gotta kick their asses out.
This tenant has been evicted from their storage unit because they were trying to live inside their storage unit, which is why all their stuff is here and they're packing it up right now. The way we figured out that this tenant was living on site is there's a few different things that we watch. When we check keypads, we see who is staying after access hours, and this tenant had done this multiple times. We also noticed that this tenant was leaving items outside of the unit and in the exterior hallway that were there. Soon after these things happened, we saw on the keypads and also the cameras that the tenant had stayed overnight, entered the facility at 8:08 p.m. and exited the facility the next day at 2:08 p.m. I sent out a warning to the tenant and I said, hey, we don't allow living on the property at all. That's against your lease. I quoted the lease in there. This is a one-time warning. We're not going to kick you out this time, but we will terminate your lease if this happens again. Unfortunately, the tenant had done a similar thing again, staying on the property a majority of the day and way after access hours, and was letting one of her friends doing things on the property that they shouldn't. So I reached out to the tenant again and I said, all right, everything's terminated. You need to come and pick up your belongings. I'm gonna have to meet you there on site. We're denying your access and we'll give you a 2-hour window to pick up your items. About a week later, last night, the fees were paid. This morning, the tenant called me, said that they rented a U-Haul and could meet me on site to retrieve all their belongings. Here's what it looks like in the storage unit. You can see a bed right there, all set up with bedding, and a sketchy looking loft that's built up with all the items on top. You can see a TV that's set up right there underneath this loft structure. There's candles on this table, which is a potential fire hazard. Coats are hung up over the door and multiple items on display. For those of you that are wondering why we don't allow people to live in a storage unit, even if it seems like maybe they're not causing a bunch of problems, it is illegal for us to allow people to live in storage units. They're not habitable. We're not providing the necessary things that they need for occupancy by law, so we have to terminate. It's for legal and also safety and security reasons. This tenant in particular was also allowing other activities that are definitely not allowed on this property to be happening. You can see there's some more progress made. They're going in and out of their unit, constantly loading things in the U-Haul. At this point, I've been on property with them for about 2.5 hours. I just walked over there and took a look inside. Basically, there's like the shelving, the loft thing that's left there. Most of the stuff's loaded up inside the U-Haul. It's been about 4 hours now, still waiting for her to finish up, and she's waiting on one of her friends to come bring a drill so they can take down the shelving, and then we'll be done. After about 30 minutes of waiting, another tenant that she had talked to that's moving out today volunteered and said that she would take down all this wood with her drill. I think that's where she was going to get the drill down. She asked if that was okay, and I said, yep, that's fine. So that way she can take off and so I can leave as well. So after about 4.5 hours, this is what's left. And now I can leave the property.
I paid $50 for this whole little storage unit. It's pretty cozy and remarkable if you think about it. Like, look at this. I fit inside the whole unit. I have my socks here, underwear, tank tops, gym socks, my shoes. I have my gym clothes, towels, my nice clothes, some just more random stuff, some more storage for shoes, and the rest of everything that is tied to my name is right here. It's quite impressive how much shit I fit in here, especially just like the little space that I have. Because ultimately, it's really just like, look at, like, it's my arm's length.
I have exciting news today, as not only have we moved to a new storage unit which is cheaper and more affordable for us, but we are pregnant again. Yay. CPS ain't gonna find us in this storage unit.
Then you have people like this. These people are, in my opinion, trolling And I don't think they live there with a baby. I mean, they say that they have another baby on the way in a storage unit and it's cold in there. I mean, they're obviously trying to rage bait.
We had to move storage units, y'all, because CPS found the other one.
They kept harassing us, so
Yeah.
we moved. It's cheaper here anyways.
Yeah. Do you think CPS will still find us, y'all?
What's up, guys? Living in the storage unit right now. The heater has finally turned on. We're getting our daily warmth. It's been a pretty cold day, but we're getting warm now. It's gonna turn off in about 5 minutes though.
Probably not a good idea to post what you're not supposed to be doing. Thank you so much for checking these out with me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.